Amid the chaos of downtown protests, the face of calm.
I need my bike squads to kind of cut some of the media people away from these guys.
Cleveland Police Chief Calvin Williams trading his white uniform for a bicycle in the thick of it all.
Good way to get around. I can get around everywhere on this day.
I haven't had any units confirm that.
Keeping an ear to his radio and an eye on the crowd.
He knows we ain't enemies.
You know, I like to be out so I can touch it, feel it, smell it, see what's going on, talk to my commanders face to face, and then we make decisions like that.
Williams guiding his officers on the move and in control.
Back at least another 10 feet.
North side of Superior.
This is a perfect example of Chief Williams in action. Wherever the protest moves, the chief is right there.
Right there to keep the peace and even make peace.
Just came out to support my patriotic.
Williams joining this impromptu prayer vigil. Police and protesters together on Public Square.
Trump supporters, Hillary supporters, you know, the anarchist guys, the guys over there, whatever they're doing, everybody just came, joined in, and we had a nice prayer.
Williams modest about his role, instead crediting thousands of other officers.
There you go. All right, sir. Appreciate it. We have a lot of good people doing a lot of work. Our thing is keep people safe.
Exchanging challenge coins with them. A token of thanks to officers here from as far as California.
We have nothing but good things to say about Cleveland PD.
And we prosper under capitalism.
With the pressure on,
Trying to do the job that I swore to do.
this leader delivered. In Cleveland, Matt Wright, Fox 8 News.
Like wings on our feet, I would say.
Thanks for calling Committed Courier. This is
at Committed Courier LLC.
Yep, good to go. So,
a full-service messenger company in Midtown Cleveland.
just this morning, we've already delivered catering, blueprints, pharmacy to the clinic to a lung transplant patient.
Owner Christopher Johnson is gearing up for the RNC.
good business.
They said that this will be the single biggest media event, period. So, yeah, we're gonna have to cut through it.
And while the wheels are spinning, Johnson is grinning.
Yeah, I was excited. This could be huge. The hotels are gonna be full, which always means stuff for us. Good to see you, brother.
Because bike couriers will be in high demand when 50,000 people take over the city.
It's a lot more efficient way to get around, especially a city our size. I can be from here at our headquarters to West 25th in 10 minutes.
West 25th to downtown, probably about $3, $3.50.
From fresh food to important papers.
Well, this is someone's life. Their legal opportunities are right here in your hand, and depending on the time that you make it, it could change their life.
Johnson and his bike messengers will be pedaling at an accelerated pace.
Woo! We move faster, and given the knowledge of these guys, you know, the ins and outs, what side of the building is easier to approach from, we can kind of sneak sometimes.
Okay, ready, set, go.
So how much faster is a bike versus a car? We decided to time it. All right, Chris, what was your time?
I was here in 5 minutes.
10 minutes. That was 10 minutes. And could you even imagine what this is going to be like during the week of the RNC when there's traffic and construction and a security zone that people don't even know about yet?
It's combat sometimes out there in traffic. Heads up.
However, there's no reward without risk.
That I've broken my collarbone, shoulder blade at the same time, broken my wrist twice.
Like the time Johnson got pinched between two RTA buses.
When I realized what was happening, it was too late. It caught both handlebars, stopped dead because of the space narrowed so much.
Oh my gosh!
I had forward momentum, so I went over my handlebars.
But during the biggest event in Cleveland history,
All right, thank you very much.
near or far, rain or shine, Johnson promises to deliver.
Hello, I got your envelope. It's been handled 2 or 3 times by different people working as a team. That, I think, is going to give us a bit of an edge over some of the no-go zones and the gridlock that I'm sure we're going to see.
In Cleveland, Melissa Reed, Fox 8 News.
Cleveland, this is for you.
I ain't think I would ever see it, but I seen it with my own eyes.
I'm feeling great. This is like a stress reliever. You know, I'm feeling like a fresh starter for the city.
There it is, right there. Right there. There it is. Right there.
We've been waiting for this all our lives, and they finally did it. They bring it home.
Hey, man, get out the street.
Great night. Great night for me.
First team ever to come back down 3-1.
Shouts out to Brian. Shouts out to Kyrie. I love the Cavs.
I gave everything that I had. I poured my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears to this game.
This building is the United States Courthouse for the Northern District of Ohio in Cleveland. My name is Drew DeSerto. I'm the Chief Deputy with the United States Marshal Service in the Northern District of Ohio. There's a federal court order that there are no recording devices or cameras allowed in the courtrooms to record the proceedings, and we enforce that as the United States Marshal Service.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge presiding. You may be seated.
My name is Joe Wood. I'm a graphic artist at Fox 8. When I'm in the courtroom, I try and draw the exactly what I see in real life and make the image
ask the state to produce the
look as lifelike as possible and true to that person's image. Because if people at home recognize that particular person,
you are free to communicate that to the jury in your closing argument. I am not instructing them on that.
No, ma'am, just this, that it would be an improper argument of the law if the state were allowed to suggest to this jury that it is unlawful.
The heart of Jimmy DeMora's appeal has always been that he was denied a fair trial because he was not allowed to introduce his ethics reports. DeMora's defense to over 30 corruption charges was...
The 68-year-old told U.S. District Judge Dan Polster he was sorry for what he did and stressed that this is the most embarrassing thing that he ever experienced.
It's a federal court, and it was a corruption trial. And this is one of the attorneys, Jimmy, a closer shot. And then we have a wider shot of Jimmy. You might remember he was found guilty, and he's spending 28 years in a federal prison.
I like how you added the shading to show the light in there.
You know, when I'm in the courtroom, I think one of the things I think about is that my pen is the camera. And so I'm capturing these images for the viewer with my pen. I'm pretty fortunate. I love my job. It's pretty rewarding when people appreciate the artwork that I do. I feel good about what I've done.
Please stop hating and debating. I'm the greatest, no mistaking, and I haven't even made it yet.
I think differently than the majority of the people coming from where I'm from, and it's helping me to exceed past where I'm from.
That's an understatement. 20-year-old artist Ezzy Walker has already been in a movie.
What are you good at?
Produced his own music.
Everything is changing.
And is about to appear on the hit Fox show Empire.
I am just trying to lead by example and show people that, like, there's possibilities and there is more to life than just this and this environment.
87th in Detroit, what Ezzy calls the ghetto of Cleveland.
It's a pretty gutted area, and you know, there's just a lot of, like I said, misguided individuals that don't know necessarily the consequences of all the choices they make, and so a lot of crime occurs here.
So how did Ezzy make it?
He said to me, Mom, can you believe that really we think that if you would have never gotten sick, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at.
The diagnosis was breast cancer. It was a turning point for Ezzy's mom, Alicia, but it gave her something she never had before.
I didn't have time to do the things that I do now. So if I wouldn't have got sick, I wouldn't have been able to take him places. I wouldn't have been able to invest as much as I have in him.
Thank you all for coming, and I hope you enjoy yourself.
Talent shows, studio sessions, performances. Alicia gave Ezzy the chance, and he ran with it all through high school. But Alicia wanted to make sure that he continued with his education.
The youngest kid on campus, homie.
I didn't graduate college. My mother didn't graduate college. My husband didn't graduate college. I really wanted my son to graduate college.
Mostly because my mom wanted me to, and getting accepted in a fashion school and going to school and not really wanting to be there.
I'm 16 and I'm already in college. Yo, what my mama tripping for? I'm steady treading in knowledge.
He reluctantly stuck with it until a phone call changed his life.
My schedule's simple. I eat, sleep, wake up, go to school, work, repeat.
Word of Ezzy's talent and skill as a rapper got to national radio host Wjwsoy. He gave Ezzy a shot.
He booked a ticket for me to fly out, but I had to drop 2 classes that wouldn't let me reschedule midterms in order to make the date.
Fine, do that. As long as later on in life, you go back and you finish that last year of school and get your mother a diploma.
Ezzy agreed and dropped the classes for the chance to drop the mic on the nation.
My man Sway said he gonna put me to the test. 1 beat later, you could put me with the best.
Over 2 million people saw Ezzy's flow, including director Stephen Capel Jr., who cast Ezzy in his movie The Land. Ezzy produced 2 songs for the soundtrack.
Packing my bags, moving on to something better.
And after getting an agent, is now on season 3 of Empire.
And kaboom! A star is born.
It's a lot of fame in a short time, but he has not left Cleveland. He still lives in the same place with his family. It's part of what keeps him grounded. It's what draws people to him.
Letting everybody here know that I'm off to pursue more in life and see what else life has to offer. And I don't know where I'm gonna end up, but you guys will be the first to know.
In Cleveland, Todd Meany, Fox 8 News.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you.
So give it up, quench my desire, I love you, and I'll be at your side.
A lot of people are alone for the holidays, and I just want to be helpful and make them cheerful that they have a place to go.
Gravy, gravy, gravy.
Sir, would you like pie today?
Let's give him back. Give him back.
I love this place down here. I used to be homeless, and I always come back every year to give back. Because when I was homeless, they took care of me.
Thanks. There you go. You're welcome.
Aren't you the prettiest
Thank you.
It's amazing. I mean, you got all walks of life in here. So, and they don't turn anybody away.
That's why you keep on living.
Don't forget us at Christmas. We'll be here at Christmas too. I am Sister Corita Ambrose from the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Joseph. Okay. This is the day that I love the most, is Thanksgiving Day, when all these people come and enjoy a dinner and they're all happy. It's knowing that today they're getting a meal. And maybe they won't have one tomorrow, or maybe they won't have one another day, but they're singing down there today. And all that means that they're celebrating Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much. The fact that we're all together, that we're able to spend this time together. We thank you for just putting us all together. Is this good? Mm-hmm. I met Bob in college. We both went to Cleveland State, and we both were part of the radio station there, WCSB. That was in 1974.
This is Bob Becker.
He was the all-American boy.
A report from Air Traffic Control.
Bob was only 58. And all of a sudden, he couldn't Words weren't coming, he was confused, he'd make mistakes. Now I remember at the radio station, he couldn't do his timesheet. He couldn't figure that out. I lost my conversation partner. I lost my other half. My husband lost the ability to speak fairly quickly. To act on something is fading. He is still my Bob. We've been married 37 years now, and we have 2 boys.
Mr. Baker, Mrs. Baker, this is the MRI picture we have from you guys. As you can see, there's a little bit shrinkage here. We see that. That's the memory center of brain, which is mostly we see in patients with Alzheimer's dementia. I think the most important thing I want people with dementia and the family to know and appreciate is the fact every medication now we have in the market, we owe it to hundreds of people who participate in clinical trials. And it will be so important to consider as an option to participate in any clinical trials because we can only have new discoveries.
Okay, today we're going to jog your minds a little with the holiday mind joggers. What do you have usually, Bob?
Visiting an adult day center proves that life does not end with a diagnosis. They are still living life to the fullest.
We all met at the Alzheimer's Association meetings, but we realized that we needed to have some socialization for our guys because that's the best medicine.
Push it, push it, push it. Bob and I come here every Saturday, and for about 2 hours, we'll walk the track, do the bicycle. You feeling it?
I'm feeling it.
He really enjoys that. What happens when you have a good day?
I don't know.
I am responsible keeping Bob engaged.
Today, the Cleveland Indians and the Minnesota Twins playing.
Come on, get him out, get him out, get him out. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Christian Church.
Bob Becker's been a member of this congregation for many, many years. I think for the congregation, he has been so vibrant to see him not be able to do things he used to be able to do.
Well, I don't really know about that particular story. My name's Tom Moore. I'm a news anchor for iHeartRadio in Cleveland. Bob was always our Saturday morning host for quite a few years. He also filled in for Bill Wills. I loved working with Bob. He doesn't remember who I am anymore, even though we did work together for quite a few years.
Transmission of 50,000 watts of radio memories is about to begin.
Bob has always been, in my mind, is a very generous soul. I'm Mark Rosenberger, managing editor of content at WVIZ PBS Idea Stream. We were good friends. We worked with each other for many years. When I worked with him as a documentarian, he was always giving, easy to get along with. And when you look at him today, I think that generosity still shines through, even though he's not able to communicate.
Hey, Bubby, how's your drink? That's it, babe. In some ways, it's sad because our circle of friends grows smaller. As this journey continues, you have to change how you're sailing.
Now, what are we doing here?
This disease steals so much from you. What we have been very blessed is that it has not stolen the core of who Bob is. This is the nature walk at the cemetery, and this is the cemetery where we picked out that we'd like to end up here. Bubby, this is the spot that we picked out that when we're gone, we want to have a spot where people can come and just be in nature. Hopefully think a little bit about us. Aw, I love you.
I need someone to hold.
Look at the towers. I love coming here. Yeah, isn't that neat? It reminds me when you were on the radio and TV.
The life we used to live is slipping through my fingertips like a thread that's unraveling. I suppose that nothing lasts forever, and everything is lost in its time.
images are ones of lives near ruin, like we have rarely seen before. An Ohio couple slumped over from a heroin overdose with a 4-year-old in the back seat. Images of people overdosing in stores or out on the streets. And the sounds can be heartbreaking. A Youngstown father, Brendan Clark, telling his son that his mother has overdosed and died.
Mommy died last night. Okay.
What do you mean, my mom?
Yes.
How?
From drugs.
I don't think your viewing public understands the magnitude of the carnage. It's not just a public health crisis, it's a plague.
A plague, drug court judge David Matthias says.
What do you need help with?
That is killing more Americans than a war.
Vietnam, the number of people who died in Vietnam was 58,000. We're almost losing that every year. And how many years are we into that?
It's now been almost 5 years since the I-Team first traveled to southern Ohio to report on an emerging crisis.
I relapsed while I was pregnant with her, and I used until 3 weeks ago.
People overdosing in record numbers on heroin and its legal cousins, opium-based painkillers such as oxycodone and Oxycontin.
Ohio has been particularly hard hit, no question about it.
Chuck Rosenberg runs the DEA, the nation's Drug Enforcement Administration.
Sometimes we overuse certain words like historic or unprecedented. This is an epidemic. We're going to lose 47,000 people this year to a drug overdose death. And remember, in some ways, that number is a significant undercount because we have many, many, many more people who overdose but don't die.
Indeed, just in the small town of Euclid, records show its fire department administered naloxone, the heroin antidote drug, to 145 people last year alone.
I wish that I could say that this was just a temporary thing and it's going to go away, but it doesn't appear. It appears to be getting worse.
What's driving the increased demand for heroin and its opiate cousins?
One of the things driving the increased demand for all opioids are prescription pills. We know that 4 out of 5 new heroin users started on pills. And most people got those pills legitimately, at least at some point.
Given that statement from the nation's top drug enforcement official, you might expect other government policies to encourage doctors to be more careful, to prescribe fewer opiates for their patients to manage pain. But in fact, the opposite is true. Federal policies put pressure, financial pressure, on doctors to prescribe more opiates in the middle of a heroin epidemic.
We know that physicians across Ohio feel strongly that they are being pressured.
My colleagues tell me that the pressure is extremely intense, and that oftentimes, these patients have been on these medications for years.
Both Dr. Jason Jerry at the Cleveland Clinic and Dr. Joan Papp at Metro say they are grateful that their hospitals do not reduce individual doctors' pay based on how patients rate their pain treatment on government surveys. The same is true at university hospitals. Doctors' individual pay does not go down based on patient surveys about pain control.
The messaging is always the same, which is practice good medicine. And so an opioid sometimes is appropriate and sometimes it's not, but it's not based on an HCAP question at all.
HCAPS is the name of the federal survey given to Medicare patients after hospital stays. There are 2 pain questions, one on pain control and one asking if the hospital staff did everything they could for pain. Patients are given 4 choices, and if they don't answer always to both pain questions, the amount of money the government pays the hospital for their care goes down.
Several hospitals across the country do structure their payment that way.
A study of 1,100 doctors just in Ohio found 74%, about 3 out of 4, felt more pressure to prescribe opioids because of how the government reimburses for pain control.
It's unrealistic to believe that they're not going to cave into that pressure in some cases.
What patients want is not always the best medicine.
Dr. Jerry says all physicians know that reimbursement may go down to their hospitals, and they know that patient satisfaction scores matter a lot.
You feel that, and what are you doing wrong, and that your satisfaction scores aren't up to snuff with the rest of the institution.
And ask the drug court judge, who sees lives ruined by prescription pills every week.
She's going to be dead.
Ask him about patient scores influencing doctors to prescribe more opiates, and he'll tell you
It is the exact opposite of what the medical profession should be doing.
So what should be done?
There are many solutions. We have to attack supply. That's the traditional law enforcement response. But we also have to attack demand.
And attacking demand may mean changing a system that encourages doctors to prescribe more pills during an epidemic when people are dying in warlike numbers, one by one.
I'm so sorry.
Bill Shield, Fox 8 IT.